Bitter criticism, a regular episode, but such a beautiful spot, such a beautiful landscape. A coincidence. It was better before, but now it's just fine too. We are talking about the moon, the full moon on the horizon. I'm not sure if that means anything. If that means something specific. The full moon in the horizon, people. Look. Yeah. So we are going to read some articles as usual. Not that way. Yeah, I guess that way. So yeah, bitter criticism with the full moon. Not in Paris. Not full moon in Paris. This will be May 22. May 22. May 22, where are you? May 22, Oh, I'm not sure if I really have a May 22 file. But I guess I have. I just don't know where it is. I save it in an awkward way. I just download it. Yeah, I downloaded from my email. I sent to myself, and I lost a Pepe Escobar article. As the moon is just going, I'm talking about the reflection on the sea, on Pacific Ocean. Yeah, Pacific Ocean. Ukraine is losing and direct intervention by the West risks a nuclear conflict. So what does it do? What does it do now? May 22, home Russia and former Soviet Union. As it seeks to minimize its own risks, the US-led bloc is about to hit a dead end. This is Sergei Poletaev, information analyst and publicist, co-founder and editor of the VAT4 project. I guess he is one of the new Russian millionaires. Who knows? In our last article, you will see there's a lot of Russian millionaires now, as Russia Today says. In our last article, we analyzed Kiev's military prospects in light of its new mobilization law. Here we consider the West's opinions. The West's options in the proxy war is using the armed forces of Ukraine, AFU, to fight. Western officials have been talking about sending troops to Ukraine since the beginning of the year. French President Emmanuel Macron said that he is ready to consider any scenario, including a ground operation. Government officials in Estonia and Lithuania, including Prime Minister Ingrida Simonite were quick to support him. And the leader of the House Democratic Caucus, Hakeem Jeffries, became the first US politician who didn't exclude the possibility of sending troops. Formally, Ukraine hasn't requested Western troops. Kiev has only demanded more weapons, but now the New York Times reports that Kiev has officially asked the US and NATO to send military instructors to train 150,000 recruits on its territory. 150,000. So I guess all these people, they are mercenaries, I guess. Recruits on its territory, closer to the front line. Though the US has refused to comply with the request, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General K. Brown Jr. has said that a NATO deployment of trainers appears inevitable, and that we will get there eventually over time. The subject of sending troops to Ukraine comes up quite often, but so far, Western countries have steered clear. Why is a full-fledged NATO intervention in Ukraine possible? And what will happen if it took place? And how else might the West turn the course of the conflict in its favor? A larger-than-life bet. Western doctrine in regard to Russia was defined even before the start of the full-scale conflict. The idea was to fight Russia with the hands of Ukraine and on Ukrainian territory, or to the last Ukrainian. So the reflection of the moon is just over. Goodbye. The goal was to force Russia to play by Western rules, ideally by defeating it on the battlefield, and reassert the US-led bloc's shaky global hegemony. But at the same time, officials wanted to minimize their own risks and avoid being drawn into a direct military confrontation that could result in a nuclear war. I'm just gonna skip this news because it's nothing happening, I guess, at least right here in Playa Ancha, 5th sector, in the Pólvora Road. There's nothing happened. There's no nuclear weapons here, there's no explosions. It's okay. Everything is just okay. No Americans here, no NATO, no US-led bloc NATO here, no Russian. So that's it. My hair is kind of frizzy now. It will get even more frizzy now. So next one. UK accuses China of providing lethal aid to Russia. This is from Russia Today. May 22, 2024, Homeworld News. Beijing has dismissed similar claims from Washington as groundless and unacceptable. British Defense Secretary Grant Shapps has accused China of providing military aid to Russia for use in Ukraine. Beijing has repeatedly denied playing any part in the Ukraine conflict. Who? Beijing, yeah. Yeah, so that's how things are today. You have a China country, a powerful country that just cannot openly support nobody because they are not the hegemon. Milu got stinky yesterday with a stinky I don't know what, and now there is freezing. But I will provide a warm, I don't know what, a warm dog cloth. Today, quote, today I can reveal that we have evidence that Russia and China are collaborating on combat equipment for use in Ukraine, Shapps told a conference in London on Wednesday. Not Wembley, but Wednesday. Lethal aid is now, or will be, flowing from China to Russia and into Ukraine, and I think it is a significant development, Shapps added. The defense chief did not elaborate further or provide evidence to back up his claim. The US has already sanctioned more than 100 Chinese companies for allegedly supplying Russia with dual-use goods and components, a term referring to items such as navigation devices and machine tools with both civilian and military applications. Speaking at a press conference in Beijing last month, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken threatened additional measures in the alleged transfer of these components if the alleged transfer of these components continues. Beijing has pushed back against what it calls groundless claims by Washington. China is not the creator or a party to the Ukraine crisis. China's deputy envoy to the UN, Zheng Xuan, told the UN Secretary Council on Monday. Nor have we provided lethal weapons to any party in the conflict. We have not done what the US has done, which is to deliberately prolong the fighting and profit from the crisis. We will not do that. Beijing has maintained a policy of neutrality on the Ukraine conflict and consistently called on Moscow and Kiev to settle their differences diplomatically. During a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Beijing last week, Chinese President Xi Jinping said that he supports a solution via an international peace conference recognized by both Russia and Ukraine, with equal participation by all parties and fair discussion of all options. I guess this is the best option too, because by this time nobody believes in these 150,000 soldiers. Nobody believes they have any chance against Russia. What the hell they try to do? Well, the only option since the beginning it was the West has little options since the beginning. They just want to provoke that the West. It's not the West. It's the military industrial complex. They just want to sell guns. They just want to burn equipment. They just want to burn weapons down. That's it, and they achieve it. And anything else, well, I don't know, maybe they was willing to make Russian population overturn their government, but didn't happen, and I guess that will be very difficult to happen, because I don't know, because nobody knows about Russia actually. People say Moscow is great, but I never heard that people hate the government all around Russia, all across Russia. I guess nobody hates the government, Putin just got 90% of the pool. Anyway, so that's it, though. So this war should end right now. Maybe Trump will be, I guess Trump will win the election. Yeah, I will guarantee you Trump will win the election. That will be the headline of this article. Nobody cares. I have no audience. No audience, Milu. Just you getting freezy over there. Milu is getting freezy. But we have only 15 minutes. I guess I will do a special right now. This will be just a half an hour episode. I guess it will be just a half an hour. Oh no, I guess I will do them. I guess I had this insight. Maybe there was an insight, or maybe it was an epiphany. I don't know. Why Rede TVT, Rede TVT, Rede TVT, a news channel, journalism channel. They have this seu jornal. The time is 47 minutes, but I never knew that. But I just realized that 47 is the number of the rifle, the famous rifle AK-47. Well, I don't have one, but I want to have one. So Vladimir Putin give me some rifle to defend this electric tower, this bay over here. I want guns, I want weapons. The fundamental solution of the Ukraine crisis is to promote the construction of a balanced, effective, and sustainable new security architecture. He added. Xi Jinping. China and Russia have deepened their economic and diplomatic ties since the conflict began in 2022. With trade between the two nations reaching a record $240 billion last year, up more than 64% since 2021. Russian-Chinese relations are not ad hoc contacts and are not aimed against anyone, Putin said during the meeting with Xi, adding that our cooperation in world affairs is one of the main stabilizing factors on the international stage. Oh, look, this is the news I mentioned before. This is a very strange news because it's from Russia Today, and Russia Today should be, I don't know, I'm not sure if this is popular, but I guess I don't know the Russian, Look, May 22, 2024, home business news. Number of Russian millionaires jumps. Data. A drop in capital outflow has led to unprecedented growth in private banking. Research shows. Not me. More of Russia's super rich are keeping their money at home. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the reason. Driving unprecedented growth in the private banking sector. New research shows. The number of high net worth individuals, HNWAI, holding assets worth over 100 million rubles, roughly $1 million, in $1 million, yeah. In Russian banks jumped by 50% last year compared to 2022. Leading banking consultancy Frank RG reported on Tuesday. The data was compiled as part of an annual private banking survey that aims to assess the quality of financial services offered to high net worth individuals, HNWs. In Russia, who gonna love this concept? Brazilians, Brazilians love all related to being rich. I guess black people in general, you know. That was just a racist comment, and the moon just gone. The moon just gone. Uh, and you know, it's kind of super cold now. Not super cold, but I'm gonna put my. The dogs are kind of. The only dog is not freezing is Mursi, because the coat she has the natural coat. Isn't it, Mursi? I said about you. I say your name, baby. Nah. Boring, isn't it, Mursi? All boring, and Milu is freezing. But yeah, I will put you some coat, Milu. I swear. Come here, baby. Come. Milu is freezing. Milu gay. Tommy is freezing too over there. Well, I just gonna read more of 100 news. But you know, the day is showing up, sun is showing up. Temperature will high. During a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Beijing last week, Chinese President Xi Jinping. Oh, no. This is the news. So, because the rich Russians are letting the money on Russia, that's the reason. The data was compiled as part of an annual private banking survey that aims to assess the quality of financial services offered to Asian WIs in Russia. The consultancy recorded unprecedented growth in the private banking sector in 2023. Frank RG said in a statement, the inflow of new money became the most significant driver of these people, the NHWE. Clients' financial capital growth in Russia. Lyubov Prokopova, project director at Premium and Private Banking, Frank RG, said in a statement, the consultancy attributed the rise of mainly to the top in the capital outflow. You know, I get super freezy now. My head just freeze. Frank RG said in a statement, the inflow of new money became the most significant driver of these richer people clients' financial capital. I will say these rich people clients' financial capital growth in Russia. Lyubov Prokopova, project director at Premium and Private Banking, Frank RG said in a statement, the consultancy attributed the rise mainly to the drop in the capital outflow from Russia. Yeah, because people are not sending the money away because United Kingdom is stealing the Russian money. You know, why you're gonna invest outside Russia if West is stealing your money to give to Zelensky? Or just stealing, you know? What a terrible world. The consultancy attributed the rise mainly to the drop in the capital outflow from Russia. The volume of cross-border transfers had dropped by 35% year on year, it noted, citing data from the country's central bank. Higher interest rates on deposits have also attracted investment. At the end of 2023, 29.4% of wealthy clients' savings was held in foreign currency, while remaining 70.6% was in rubles. So the dogs are freezing here, but we are getting closer in the freezing. Yeah, in the freezer. For the first time, analysts at Ctgn identified the very high net worth individuals, the very high. So remember these rich people now is very, very rich people. Segment in Russia, referring to those whose assets exceed 500 million rubles or $5 million. At the end of 2023, the number stood around 4,000 people, an increase of 60% year on year, the consultancy noted. The total capital held by the super rich in Russia amounted to the equivalent of over $145 billion in 2023, Ctgn said. The figure represents 62% growth from the previous year. However, wealthy Russians still hold around 60 to 65% on their assets outside of the country, the consultancy added. In 2022, Russia was subjected to an unprecedented barrage of international sanctions over the Ukraine conflict. The measures have ranged from blacklisting most of the country's banks and cutting them off from the SWIFT interbank messaging system to freezing $300 billion in Russian foreign exchange reserves. Yeah, so the SWIFT, or I don't know what the freezing. Yeah, the SWIFT is freezing Russian money. So the Russians should take away their money from SWIFT. The restrictions led to a 26% drop in the rich segment from that year. Currently, the super rich segment accounts for around 23% of Russia's total financial capital, including money held in accounts and deposits, as well as assets held in the form of securities. So that's it. We have just more 15 minutes. Russia, May 22. May 22. May 22, 2024, home Russia and former Soviet Union. Russia set for record grain exports. Minister. Newly appointed Agriculture Minister Oksana Lut expects foreign sales to reach $45 billion this year. Cross-border sales of grain produced in Russia will hit an all-time high this year, Russian Agriculture Minister Oksana Lut has said, adding that exports are expected to reach some $45 billion in monetary terms. Speaking during a plenary session of food security at the International Russia Exhibition Forum, Lut said the country had exported 43.5 billion worth of grain last year. I'm gonna short this episode. It's gonna be just 30 minutes, I guess, because I'm late for college. We are recording this show in the morning, This is 8 a.m. So I'm just gonna read the headlines as usual. From Ctgn, Xi Jinping sends message to 14th China-US Tourism Leadership Summit. This was from May 22, Politics. China's UN envoy eliminating armed conflict is best projection for civilians. What? May 22. China's UN envoy eliminating armed conflict is best protection for civilians. Yeah, that was an interesting. Fu Kong, China's permanent representative to the United Nations, speaks during a Security Council meeting at United Nations headquarters in New York. But anyway, 20 people in intensive care after turbulent Singapore Airlines flight, hospital. May 22. European Council gives final nod to landmark AI Act. May 22. The European Council announced on Tuesday that ministers from the European Union member states have given their final approval to the bloc's Artificial Intelligence Act, subjecting high-risk AI applications to stricter regulation. Yeah, maybe I just want a robot, but I want to a cyber geisha, and I want to rely on her. But that should be impossible. From species to ecosystems, China's conservation commitment for biodiversity and human well-being. May 22. That will be nice to read, but it's kind of too large, but it's fine. Look, the last paragraph, the Great Green Wall, also called Tree North Shelter Belt Forest Program, was initiated in 1978 and aims to create a belt of 35 million hectares of trees by 2050 in northern and northeastern China to act as a barrier against desertification. Through targeted conservation programs, China has also been focusing on projecting flagship species like the Hainan gibbon, giant panda, Tibetan antelope, and snow leopard. Hainan gibbon. I'm not sure what is the gibbon. Maybe it's a monkey, Yeah, the Hainan monkey. Look, beautiful. Look, we have a monkey in Hainan. I love it. I love the monkey, the Hainan gibbon. Ctgn pool 90.21 condemn the Taiwan leader's dangerous remarks. And that's it. Global Trade and Investment Promotion Summit 2024 calls for economic recovery and collaboration. I super late now. Norway, Ireland, Spain to recognize Palestinian state. This is from Al Jazeera. That's great. And that's it, I guess. What else? Biden cancels $7.7 billion more in student debt for 160,000 borrowers. That's nice too. But that's it. And this is the best one from Al Jazeera. The theatrics of genocidal impunity. No, I guess maybe, I don't know. Germany and the US are rendering a draft resolution on the Bosnian genocide meaningless with their position on Gaza. So as I said, I'm late for college. UK ruling on Assange extradition resets the game. What happened next? Right groups latest decision as an investigative journalist warns Assange might be entombed in prison for life. So that's it, guys. And the last one, I guess. Why should we vote? India's youth workers blame politicians for woes. No. That's it. I'm super late for college. I'm just gonna release Tommy. Tommy, don't kill nobody. Ah. The Akitas never show up again. The Akitas are worried about us, isn't it, Mursi? So this is being the 35 minutes episode.